is done.
Hi, so my name is Scott Bauer. Over the next few minutes, I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of tell a little about myself so that you guys can get to know me a little better. So I was born and raised in Coppell, Texas. I'm currently an A&M student, so I'm a graduate student studying finance right now. So I want to talk about something kind of interesting about me, and so that's the number of scars that I have. So I have lots of scars from my medical history. So some of these were from dumb accidents, others from surgeries. I found that each one of these scars kind of taught me a lesson. So scars by nature, leave a physical imprint on your body, but I found that these scars kind of also left a mental imprint on me as well by the lessons that they taught me. So I just want to take the next few minutes to talk about some of the scars that I have so you can kind of glimpse of kind of who I am. So one of the scars that I have runs across from end to end of my belly. So I received this scar when I was a baby. I had several eating issues and I couldn't keep food down. So I had a surgery called a fundoplication to help correct the problem, and it ended up leaving me with a scar that runs across my belly. So before the surgery, I actually had to be fed through tubes that my parents, by themselves actually, had to funnel through my nose into my stomach. That way food could get down in my system. Although the surgery kind of happened before I was really conscious or aware of it, it still kind of taught me a lesson. So even though I was a little baby, I knew that I had a family and parents that loved and cared for me. So every time I see this scar, it kind of reminds me of the family and the support system that I have. So I know that with them, they can support me in all my endeavors. Another set of scars that I have is actually on my forehead. So this one was actually from a dumb accident. So right before the third grade, it actually showed up in my third grade yearbook pictures. Some of my friends, we were all at McDonald's at the playground. All the parents were inside while all the kids were playing in the playground. And while playing tag and chasing one of my friends, I chased them up a slide, but forgot the whole ducking portion. So I ended up slamming my head into the slide. My head split open. I was bleeding out on the playground while the other kids were playing. So it was kind of an embarrassing situation. So at the moment, when I split my head open, immediately after I split my head open, I got one friend to grab me napkins. I got one friend to grab my mom who was inside, and then all while that was happening, I kind of put my hand over my head, put pressure on it, and kind of tilted it in order to contain the bleeding. So looking back on that situation, I think that I handled it pretty well, considering that I was only 9 years old at the time, and I was kind of covered in blood at a McDonald's playground. And so it kind of taught me that, whatever kind of pressures I might face in life, I'll be able to handle them. So I know that if I was able to handle that situation as a 9-year-old, that any other pressures I might end up facing, I'll be able to handle as well. It kind of also taught me to avoid McDonald's before Super Size Me came out as well. And so that's kind of what I learned from that scar. Another scar that I have is actually on my right forearm. So one day I was helping move stacks of hay out in a field. And so I was kind of grabbing the stacks of hay, one arm underneath it and one arm on the side. I was kind of a scrawny kid, so that's kind of the best way I could move them. And so I just kind of got in a robotic motion and just moving these without thinking. So I grabbed one stack of hay without even looking at it. And unbeknownst to me, there's a giant ant pile underneath the stack of hay. So as soon as I grabbed it, immediately hundreds and hundreds of ants swarmed my entire right arm and kind of the rest of my body, and just dozens of bites all within seconds. I was out in a field, so I couldn't really get to a hose as quick as I could, and so I sprint, trying to wipe them off as I was running to a hose as quickly as I could. By the time I actually got to the hose, I actually had dozens and dozens of ant bites, and my whole arm was swollen to the point that I still kind of have these colored marks on my forearm from the ant bites that happened 10, 15 years ago. And so, that kind of taught me that, despite what we try to do and what we try to plan, that eventually, some dumb accidents are going to happen to you, but that's important to learn from them. So those are all a bunch of different scars, just a few of them that I have. But, each one of these scars mean a different thing for me. So, I'll leave you with a quote. Be proud of the scars in your life. Each one holds a lifetime worth of lessons. So at some point in your life, you know, you're probably going to get scarred, but it's important that you learn a lesson from it. Thank you. Okay, woo! Let's give it.
Yeah. All right.
Did you get enough time?